Greetings, programs. Welcome to another siege battle here. And as we are looking out across this field, you might be noticing something. There are lots of Roman armies. So, what we did here, this is me playing as Macedon as Egypt. This is Jedi Riven playing as Macedon. And then if you watched my last video, Learning Curve, you'll know that Gamer Prime, who's fairly new to the game, literally has had it for almost a week. And I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Almost a week. Um, he doesn't know how to play, so we're just playing around, and we kind of made this and a little baptism by fire. I was just wanting to screw around. We ended up having a decent battle. So what we did, I had Jedi choose the map and Gamer Prime choose my factions. So we're playing on this map. I can't remember the name of it now for the life of me, but I'm playing as Egypt. So I'm doing the best I can. There was some banter going back and forth in the chat because they had three armies of Rome, and we were saying how one of them brought nothing but Praetorian Guard, while I think the other armies really didn't bring much of anything wise. So they're already burning Gamer Prime's. They're already trying to burn his ballista. What he didn't realize and didn't know how to do was how to manually control artillery, because on barbarian settlements, walled artillery, unless it's a Galatian artillery, is broken. And it will not auto-fire because the model just doesn't work. It's a ballista piece made for a regular wall on a barbarian wall, and it doesn't work. I made the great mistake of getting a scorpion, not a ballista. I instantly regretted that as soon as I realized what I had. And then Macedon, Jedi Riven already with his Greek ballista. Beg your pardon, guys. I just finished eating some chili for lunch. So I'm coming into this with a full stomach and ready to talk. All the energy in the world. So we got the towers, we have the archers. So we have this Roman army over here with first cohort on gladiator spears on his towers, with Eagle cohort, Evocati cohort as his secondary line, with the standard issue auxiliary Syrian archers, and 1, 2, 3 Praetorian guards, all of them in galleys. He has a battering ram, and then we have the general's bodyguard with Velites as his 4th archer unit, and then the Roman giant ballista, which is stationary artillery. Then we have out here on this other army veteran legionaries all across the board, as best as I can tell. Yeah, veteran legionaries all across the board, with some more veteran legionaries. I think he went with a veteran spam, seeing how his ally brought all Praetorian Guard, with the standard issue auxiliary and Syrians, and then this is another unit I can't exactly see, with the general's bodyguard, no artillery. And there's another unit hiding right here, but I can't see him. And the other guy that we can see, 3 Praetorian Guard, 4, 5, with the 3 auxiliary Syrian archers, and the general bodyguard. Now this guy right here, he has his army hiding in the trees, but he also has out here Praetorian Guard, Praetorian Cav, 2 units Praetorian Cav, and a legionary Cav as well. And the Praetorian Guard with a ladder, they're going to take the long way around. We do spot it, and we do contain that, but it does throw a little bit of issue into our backlines because we didn't catch it fast enough. So, as the towers are moving up, Gamer didn't really know how to play Sparta, and so he kind of deploys in not really a janky fashion. I mean, for someone not really knowing how to play this faction, he doesn't do half bad. The only issue that happened in this game was his ignorance on how to play the faction, and it cost him a whole lot more men than it really should have, than it normally would. And so, kudos to him for doing his best. He actually played a very well played game. We did keep an eye on our back sector here about them trying to flank us, but they made it easy by attacking just this entire side right here. So we have artillery coming in. They start to shell us. They're using explosive shot, which I found very interesting against my Galatian swordsman, using explosive shot, because it is not known for its killing ability. Explosive shot really is not a very good round you want to use, especially in a siege. Especially when you're able to get lines like this. Sure, a direct hit is doing a good 10 kills, but anything other than a direct hit will do nothing. If you get a near miss where it lands like right in front of the unit, right where this destroyed thing is right here, If it were to land right here, you might get a kill. Might. And see, that one actually landed directly in the middle of this archery unit, but only got a single kill. So it is very unreliable in its killing ability. But if used right, it can be effective. But very unreliable in its killing ability. As we can see, all of those miss. Doesn't do a thing. Oh, I'm sorry, that direct hit got 11 kills. That's my bad. I miscounted. But that near miss, or no, they've been under archer fire, so maybe that's where those kills came from. But anyway, those artillery shots aren't really doing anything. Unless it's a direct hit like that. Or we can see it just got 10 kills or so. So, explosive artillery, not the best idea in the world. Really avoid using it if you're playing. I try to use my swordsman. Ooh, that one hurt. I mean, look at that direct hit. Man, it did 7 kills. 7 kills from a direct hit. If he'd been using regular shot and it was rolling through my angled lines like that, I would have almost no units right here. Because of all the direct hits and near misses that they would have bounced through, would have ate them alive. As you can see, the artillery shots really aren't doing anything because they are explosive and because they're just falling slightly short. We are shifting. I'm kind of the support. I kind of have units everywhere. While Mastodon, decided to let Mastodon, or I decided to let Jedi Riven and Gamer Prime kind of take the brunt of this. But at the last second, we decided that his pikes, his elite units needed to get pulled back because he left Royal Spartans and Heroes of Sparta in this mess. So he's going to shift up his Heroes of Sparta, while I do my best with the javelins to try and support, or I do my best to support his forces. So I do end up charging Veteran Legionaries with Galatian Swords. Now my Galatian Swords do have a decent charge, and they do get it off, but they are instantly, because of the artillery fire that they've been taking, they're instantly losing against Veteran Legionaries. But they are holding him in place. At this point, I'm also shifting Throw Spears over. I'm using my Galatian Swords merely to support his spears, support his heavy Spartans. And I mean, Galatian Swords are getting a decent amount of kills for what they're fighting. For what they're fighting in the situation they're fighting in, they're actually not doing bad. So we have Thorax Swords exchanging shots with Praetorian Guard. 13 kills, lost 6. 6 kills, lost 20. I think this may have been one of the units I was using with my Scorpion before they all died. I actually shelled some of the units and got a decent amount of kills on it. Will it show me my kills? Yeah, for a Scorpion that I had to manually fire, I got 11 kills. Not too terrible. Eventually the Praetorian Guard has enough, gets into melee, and then they use the whip. And so at this point, he shifts up some more Thorough Spears to kind of support. I'm bringing Galatian Swordsmen around. At this point, we practically just gave up. We gave up this position. And we decided to hold at this choke point here, and he's in the process of falling back what he can to various choke points here, here, and here. But we basically give up this entire front area because his units greatly outclassed mine, and the unfortunate thing is Gamer Prime does not know how to use the unit. So I'm using my slingers to kind of hammer. We're using our slingers and his Cretan archers to do our best and really hammer with javelins as well, these Veteran Legionaries, because they're trying to contain us, and we're doing that exact same thing. So he volleys into the Cretan archers with javelins. I line my guys up in front. They will continue to shoot over me. We have a Praetorian Guard who is apparently confused. I formed shield wall hoping that they'd be shooting at me and I'd be able to absorb their stuff, but they just shoot over. And I find it funny that these Praetorian Guards, they're just confused. And they have no idea what the heck's going on. They're nowhere near their unit as far as I'm able to tell. So I decide to put my guys into combat, or they charge forward while my guys are in shield wall. And it's a combat even. I have numbers, and I'm using my slingers to support, opening fire on these Veteran Legionaries in the back. I have Thorough Spears moving up as well to volley, and I have a second Thorax Sword unit here to hold a flank should they push. Now coming back over to here, I mean, we have them contained. These Praetorian guards, they fought. They got some kills on me, but they didn't lose anybody. I'm sitting here. I had fire at will off, so they're just sitting here. Especially considering I didn't realize that until after I was told that they were just sitting here. So now the Praetorian guards are just getting free kills with javelins against my guys. And just cycle charging. And I actually don't know what happened. I just know when I look back over, because I got told the units here, there's like 4 left, and this archer tower is held by the enemy. We're going to jump over to here real fast, back over here. And about now is when I noticed these guys. Praetorian Guard taking archer tower fire. Not lost anyone as of yet. About now is when I call it out, and Jedi Riven moves the Thorax Swordsman over to kind of contain them. Moving 2 units of Thorax Swords to contain them. They finally lose the guy from the archer tower. The archer towers are like freaking miniguns. If archers had miniguns, if there was miniguns in this game, it'd be in the towers. So they form up just in a position where they can hold the tower. I think fire at will on them is off because they don't see any javelins quite yet. Either it's off or they're out of range. I doubt they're out of range. But because we are abandoning this middle here, and because they did breach the gate, the entire Roman army has moved in. And now Gamer Prime is doing his best to try and hold here, using his own cavalry to try and do things to disrupt formations. He makes a mistake here of using 2 cavalry units through his own to attack a unit. I didn't notice that, otherwise I would have corrected him. So if you're watching this again, Gamer Prime, never use your cavalry to charge the back of one of your units. Always use your units to charge sides. And you have Royal Spartans. I think they're trying to get at this cavalry, and they're having a pathfinding glitch into this building. His Spartans are doing fairly well holding here, but they are being lit up by arrow towers and fire arrows, I think, from the enemy archers. They are holding against the veteran legionaries, but because of fire ammo in the archer tower, it won't be that way for long. My thorough spears, I'd use them. I swapped several units out over here. The first Thorax Swords, they backed up. The thorough spears went in because they're out of ammo. Thorax unit is still shooting here with his ammo. Both of these are out of ammo. He's about to be out of ammo. And we're just really putting a dent into these guys. My slingers, I forgot that they do require like a line of sight. This is when I realized I have a unit over here still. About now. They somehow have 2 kills. I'm not sure who they killed or how they killed them. But about right now is when I realized I still have this unit. This Praetorian Guard is just getting eaten alive by these by the Thorough Spear's javelins. They should break soon, if not completely die, because they are being hit in the flank. Yeah, they're about to break. All the javelins just sticking up in the air. They're fighting a surviving unit. They kill the unit just as they get the order, just as they break and run away. At this point, I think he stops them because it is just a waste of ammo. And I haven't noticed yet because the archer tower is still is now enemy control. So I'm going to be noticing it here in a minute. So going back onto the little flanky. This unit, I think either this is a fresh unit and we broke the other one, or that's still the same unit. I think it might still be the same unit. No, it's a different one because this is the other one that attacked first. It got into his archers. This is about the time that I called out that this was going on, and Gamer Prime rushed to get his archers away and is doing his best. I'm bringing archers over to help support. I'm getting them out of the way. I actually probably should have brought them over here and lit these guys up, but they're in Testudo, so it wouldn't have done really anything except the Gladiator Spearmen, and they weren't worth volleying because an archer tower was taking care of them. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was this one that killed them, I'm not sure, but they just broke. So we have his Citizen Cav and a Royal Spartan fighting Evocati cohort. Battle is even. Now their medium melee cavalry, what he probably could have done is taken them and charged these units and at least probably broke this first cohort. And it dealt some if not broke them, at least dealt some damage to them. So I left those guys in combat to do the best they can. Thorax Swordsmen here fighting veteran legionaries as well, but they aren't going to last for very long. So I have Thorax Swords, Thorough Spears, more Thorax Swords. Basically, this whole battle is just a cluster bomb. It literally dissolved into a cluster bomb. The only reason we started winning over here, and the reason that we won right here, is because we were able to surround the Praetorian Guard. And we kept them from capping the tower. This Praetorian Guard was killed by the Thorough Spears with their javelins, but I think it did cost him an archer unit. Now, with the knowledge that this little sneaky flank was not working, I think they diverted most of their attention over to us over here. So Thorax Swords holding back 2 or 3 units here, but they're about to break. My Thorax Sword holding back another unit here, but I end up getting flanked because of this. It is also said, I haven't found any of it, but I was told that one of these players, he's actually a Twitch streamer, I'll be able to tell him his name at the end, but he pulled through. And I remember seeing it during the actual game. Jedi called it out. You know that I can't remember exactly when, because we played this game from the time I'm recording it to the time this video goes up, probably about a day or so. And this game was done 2 or 3 days before I recorded it. So it'd been about almost half a week since the actual game, between the time we actually played and it goes up. I'm not sure where it was, but we both saw, but he called it out and I saw it as well in the game, so I can't remember when, because it's been so long. But there was a pull through by the Twitch streamer. And now he's going to cycle charge. I have my guys in shield wall. They get flanked from behind. Charge to the rear. I tell them to break formation at about now. You're here in a minute. I tell them to break formation and just to fight for their lives. But they lose another 7-8 guys and then they break. I'm not sure. They don't get any more kills. So the only unit still fighting would be this Royal Spartan unit. And it is doing its best keeping these guys in line, but they're just going to get cycle charged in the rear by the heavy shot cav. The Salki Equites. So as you can see, it's looking very dire right now. The Thorough Spears does come over here from just to help support, and they end up finally taking out this Praetorian Royal Guard. And we do... Okay, they stopped capping that. That's why it's going down. I was looking at it confused for a minute, saying it's being capped, but the flag is going down. I was like, wait a minute, what? So the Spartan army is practically destroyed. It has 1 Royal Spartan unit, 1 Archer unit, Mercenary Rhodian Slingers, 2 Spartan Pikes, and then the Royal Spartan General. Macedon has 2 units of Thorough Spears, 3 units of Thorough Spears. This artillery piece had been on fire at will. We'd forgotten, so he can't turn around and use it. That could have also been a game changer. But that was just something that comes from lack of attention for unfortunate reasons. But yeah, Macedon Jedi Riven has at least 3 units of Thorough Spears. It looks like 3, 4, 5 units of Thorax Swords, and his 3 Archer units. Archers, 2 Mercenary Cretans, and then his General of Royal Peltas. I also went with a Royal Peltas General. I still have at least 2 of my Archer units, Mercenary Cretan Archer and Mercenary Rhodian Slinger. I know I have all 4 of my Archers still. I have all 4 of my Archers. I have my Royal Peltas General. I have a Thorough Spear, 2 Thorax Swordsmen, a Thorax Pike up there, and then I have 3 more Thorax Swords over here. No, these are my elites units. So it's Galatian Royal Guard, Royal Peltas, and Sobak Cultists. And I'm pretty sure I had 2 Pikemen, but I can't. There's the other one. 2 Thorax Pikes, 1 Thorough Spear, my Mercenary Cretans, and a Mercenary Cretan Archers. So I'm going to start using my Archers here, because now we have this kind of set up. And so I'm using my Archers to try and shoot at their Archers, because I know they still have a lot of ammo. So I'm trying to either kill them or draw them so that I can get my Pikes out. Mercenary Cretan Archers, they got focused down, unfortunately. They did get a few kills, but I think... And my Mercenary Rhodian Slingers, they just had too much ammo, and I couldn't do anything. They broke both of those units before they could really do anything. But my Slingers did use up most of their ammo and get quite a few kills while shooting the fish in a barrel back here against their units, against the units they had standing back here. So this is when it kind of turns into a grind fest. We're closing on 10-15 minutes left. And I was actually, surprisingly, able to get this archer unit back, but there's only 6 of them. Even though they still have a lot of ammo, they really can't do anything. This is when it turns into like the grind skirmish mode, where they're going to use up all their ranged ability, all their javelins as much as they can. They thought by having all their guys over here that they'd keep our attention, which this would be perfect right now if that artillery piece was working. Just lob a good couple of shots. You could deal collateral damage onto 3, 4 units, 5 units here. Gets probably get 20, 30 plus kills per shot, as long as they stay gooped up. But like I said, because they thought they could keep our attention over there, they didn't think we would notice the infantry and the cavalry just running through over here. Sequoia Equite Extraordinaries with 3 units of depleted first cohort. What I end up doing is bringing my mercenary Rhodian Slinger. I use the archer over here to the best of their ability until they just completely die. But then I use my Rhodian Slinger, I come over here, put him on the wall, and then just start slinging through. That's the same thing that Jedi does with his archer unit, and he has mercenary Cretans over here shooting, I believe, at these Praetorian Cav. Praetorian Cav, Sequoia Extraordinari, Socii Equite Extraordinari, and then the General Bodyguard. We don't start shooting at the General until he comes over here. Once he gets over here, we start shooting, and then we're able to take, and we end up killing this General. This entire force over here gets wiped out. This one is just dumb and takes archer fire, or arrow tower fire. I think that's what they were using it as. That's kind of a distraction. The arrow tower shot at it first, so it would keep shooting at them until they either get out of range or they're dead. But it didn't exactly go down that way. We're getting a beautiful flanking shot over here on these infantry, and as you can see, the arrow tower is diverting its shots to this direction. And then he eventually does get the idea. The arrow tower, he starts doing some other stuff to draw its attention. I find it funny how it leaves a flaming trail, almost like a vapor trail. So they're going to try and actually use the cavalry and charge through this gap. And they actually do. They do get through, but then more arrow towers. They're trying to cap it, but it doesn't really work because more arrows are coming at them, more arrows flying in. We're breaking these infantry units. And it doesn't take long before these guys finally get the message that they're not supposed to be here. I do not believe they get the tower capped. Actually, I think they actually break or they get exterminated. I think they're about to break. If they take another couple of casualties, they will break. Archers and my slingers actually still shooting at the broken unit. I didn't realize that until here in a minute, and I ordered it to change targets. But yeah, this unit is going to get annihilated. They go try to do something. I'm not sure what they go try to do, but they go try to do something. Oh, they're going to charge Royal Peltas. They stop the javelin throw, but they lose pretty much only one. These 2 guys are left. They go after the archers, but I do believe they end up breaking. Yep, they do break right then. So their 3 infantry units gone. Their only cavalry unit they had behind the lines broken. And now they're sitting here just taking arrow fire. So this is when the Praetorian Guard decides to come forward. And it's a little bit of micro over here. I'm kind of watching this, microing with my archers, keeping an eye on everything. Because over here, I'm not front line. Sparta, with pretty much nothing left. His mercenary Cretan Rhodian Slingers get into melee. I put my thorax swords in front so he can pull them back to use their range. And the Spartan general is just doing his best. Almost 30 kills. He gets over 30 kills. Lost about 10 men. He has support from my thorough spears. And I have thorax swords here to block a flank because his Royal Spartans charged out. So we're using javelins to kind of draw them off, support, to draw their units away and keep them occupied. Try to spread them out so we can punch at them individually. And Ivocati cohorts, veteran legionaries are starting to feel the weight. We actually did clean up this area. We actually got some units into their back and broke some of their archers. We did break some of their archers. We are breaking some more of their units. This is also when I realized, hey, I probably should be using my archers and shooting at things, you know? So we got a pretty much broken unit Praetorian Guard here just outside the gate. We're fighting for control of the gatehouse. We're about to neutralize it because we allowed them to cap it. We archers are just pounding those veteran legionaries. I'm not shooting at any of these archers because they're out of ammo. They're all out of ammo, or most of them are. Those units aren't. These ones are. So they're just slowly committing troops over here, and we're just slowly killing them all. They did manage to get the Royal Spartans surrounded. So they're just fighting their last. 36 men left, 57 kills. And now because they don't have to deal with him, they're shifting over reinforcements to here to flank the thorough spears that are currently fighting this veteran legionary. I tell my guys to hold fire and to wait for more specific targets. And then I look away for other things. I think I'm microing over here at the moment. Either I'm microing over here or I'm over here. So the thorough spears actually charge out against the Praetorian cavalry that's out here. And we are currently shooting these archers right here, currently shooting at the general. I don't think we actually kill the general himself, but he breaks. I'm not sure if we actually, I can't remember if we actually kill the general or if he breaks. Yep, we actually get the general. One of their armies, his general is dead now. And that's only a matter of time for these thorough spears to just annihilate the rest of this cav. And with all that said and done, we pull our archers away. I pulled my slingers back a long time ago. This is when I switch back over and realize that we are actually, my archers have been engaged, and that we have lost control of this sector. He actually brings a unit, I can't remember if it's one of these. I mean, I sent my mercenary slingers out to help, kind of. But now with this cavalry, but soon with this cavalry taken care of and gone, these units are then freed to move up here and try to contain this area. This is when I send my elites, my royal peltists go in. I send in the Soviet cultists. And as you can see, they're fighting as best as they can. They get 10 kills on the charge, continuing to get more kills. They're only down 2 men. Arrows coming in into the unit in the back line. I have my archers just doing the best they can. I'm actually redirecting some of my archers to come support the main line, because this is when we're starting to get kind of overwhelmed over here. My 2 thorax swords are doing their best. My thorough spears also doing their best to hold. This is when I send my pikes, and this is when it really starts to turn for us, because as you can see, most of their infantry right here. It's all right here. They have 2 or 3 here. They have 2 or 3 over here. A couple back here that aren't in the greatest of shape. And then just a few lying about. And most of these are all veteran legionaries. Veteran legionary, 3. Veteran legionary. Veteran legions. Veteran, I don't know. Veteran. Okay, here are 2 Praetorian Guard. And here's the rest of their Praetorian Guard. I was going to say, I don't even know where the Praetorians are. I think we killed them all. But we're just now mopping up the last of the cav, the thorough spears, finally getting the last little win here with the support of the archer tower. And right up, this is when we start moving guys over. We start moving around. He already got some thorax sword, his royal peltist, Jedi Riven has his royal peltist in the mix. My Soviet cultists, 30 kills. They've lost 40 men, but they're breaking this veteran legionary. They're breaking that unit. My general has yet to see combat. I actually have him sitting back here, letting my pikes do their best. So my thorough spears, I'm actually, because this is the main VP, we have to keep someone here, otherwise they will cap it. So I'm doing my best to just keep pressure on, keep them off. They have a unit up here. This is when I'm going to send my general around this way to shove this unit back so that my pikes can advance. And they started to try and flank me, but I pushed up and then I took them out of pike formation and I pulled back. I'm really just holding a line right here is all I'm doing. They do try to do this number, and at this moment, as you can hear the back withdrawal, my archers are getting focused down by the last few archers of theirs that do happen to have ammo. I am trading shots with them, and their infantry over here is slowly being ground away, thanks to mercenary Cretan archers and regular archers of Jedi Riven. This is when we're bringing our last units around. We have no reserves. We have nothing back here except his thorough spears. I think we decided to try and have Hit go this way to maybe get the general, but it does run away, and then he brings it back. And so it's actually because this unit is pushing around that we decide to go after it. I send my royal peltists over to kill it, and then they come around to support. Because my pikes here are being flanked, I counter-flank with my other unit of pikes, and just start ripping into this unit. And just, I mean, as you can see, it's dropped from 101 to 96 in the past few seconds. So my pikes are slowly clearing the flank of my other pike unit. And with this unit out here in front like this, they're slowly getting poked to death as well. And those are the Pelum of the Royal Peltas General of Macedon, hoping to clear the way. I have secured half the flank of my other pike unit, and they're just getting their men are just falling to my pikes. My pikes are eating them up. One has 69, the other has almost 50. And we're starting to think, okay, we might be able to actually pull this off. We quickly, with his thorax sword and my Royal Peltas General, we quickly kill this veteran legionary. Archers, my Galician Royal Guard survives this. He gets his guys into my archers, but I think they're out of ammo anyway. With 98 kills, I'm pretty sure they are. And with all the infantry gone, their archers fall back. I leave my guys here to cap the tower. And I actually don't realize at this point how trickier situation is right now. These veteran legionaries they're losing. These veteran legionaries are losing, or they're not losing, but they're trying to get into our archers. I use my slingers up, sacrifice them, so his archers can continue to just shoot into these guys. They're actually being pursued by those mercenary Cretans. I think they're being pursued. So we kill this, so our units are coming around. This arrow tower is currently held by the enemy, so that's probably what's shooting at us. So right now we're using his Royal Peltas to hold this middle. I have a pike here eating what's left of this veteran legionary unit, and I have another pike up here just eating away at their flank. Just eating away at it and forcing them to readjust as my general comes in to take this little hill and shove them back. We get a small chain route here of 3 units, which they're all depleted and all of them probably have 75 plus kills. But this little break, we take all the wins we can get. And before I could shift my unit anywhere else, I realized that they were charging forces up. So I sent my Galician Royal Guard down to go deal with it. And they're tired, so I'm pretty sure I used Headhunter. And we're doing the best we can to apply pressure right now. Just trying to keep these units in check. He's getting them on the wall so they can run around the wall. But this veteran legionary is probably going to win against that. Here they go around the wall to start capping the tower. I do end up breaking this veteran legionary unit, I am sure. But I'm not able to deal with the other veteran legionary or the archer units. And with the loss of our archer support here. We break a few more units out here, and as you can see, most of their armies that are left are all archers. They're archers and their general. Because out of their reserve units, they have 3, 6, 7, 8 archers. I don't think they have any ammo whatsoever. Macedonian forces that are here, Royal Peltas and his thorax swords, they do break. His general, I think his general's still alive. And so, because of army losses, our morale is starting to fracture. Because all of Sparta is dead and our army forces are dwindling. They have a veteran legionary here in the back. We have lost our archer power. We are breaking more of their units. We are breaking his units, but our left flank has then at this point now collapsed. And this is going to be the last 60 seconds. We do break a couple more of these units, but pretty soon it's going to be, I think his general does die. So I send my pikes forward because, I mean, they need to at least get some more kills before they break. My general breaks but does not die until he's fleeing because it comes down to my pikes who are still living. We're down with inside 45 seconds. He's pulling his general back to try and deal with that. I charge and attempt to break this unit. And we get 2-3 kills off the top and then pin the other ones, while our flank is unfortunately exposed to the Praetorians. And then my general breaks. And then army losses, my unit is winning. He's winning decisively. But at this point, my general dies and his general breaks. My general, they're shattered. These pikes are broken. They might return, but doubtful. I can't hold his flank anymore. I can't protect him. He breaks, giving his army annihilated. My general dies right about now, forcing my last two units to break and shatter. And then his general breaks, and that's that. So we're going to go ahead and look at this. So I deployed 222,000, 200, no, 2,220. I lost 2,030 men. I got just over 1,100 kills. Jedi Riven deployed 2,160. He lost 1,966, and he got just over 1,500 kills. Gamer Prime, again, his army is practically annihilated. Only like 72 guys walked away, or 62 guys walk away, and he got only 500 kills. He did not know how to play Sparta, so that's nothing against him. This is the character, Twitch.Yashun. He pulled through. He brought Praetorian spam, and basically not a guy I will play with. I will try to remember his name. Not a guy I want to play with in the future because he did pull through, which is a cheat. Cheating, it's illegal under multiplayer standard rules of 124. But anyway, the other two guys, they played really well. They actually brought, armies. I don't think any of them. He went with a veteran legionary spam. And the other guy only had Eagle cohort, Native Akati cohort. He had two Praetorian Guard. That's it. So I'm actually respectful of the other two guys. They played well. They got a lot of kills. And I mean, if you're actually looking at these units, his army's practically dead except for his archers and a single Praetorian. His army was dead except for his archers and his ballista crew and his two Praetorians. This guy, he had probably the most. He was the one who probably did this in because he still had his infantry. He still had a few units of infantry. As far as myself, you can see my thorax, my Galatian swords really didn't do anything. My throw spear did okay. My pikes did well. My royal peltis general, my elites did okay. But just my rank and file didn't do very well at all that game. Going on to Jedi Riven, his archers did fairly well. His royal peltis elites did well. His thorax swords and throw spears did very well. He knew he was able to get him into good places. And then on to Gamer Prime, his cavalry, in my opinion, was a waste of money. He didn't know how to use his Royal Spartan elites or his Heroes of Sparta elites. He tried to place them in positions where they would be good, where he thought they would do well. But again, that's all just because this is probably like his third battle ever played. So he's just not very, he's very new at it. He doesn't know how to play multiplayer very well. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm glad to have anyone on here. My Discord link will be included in the description below. You can come join my Discord. It's called the Gaming Grid because we are programs. And you'll get to talk with me. You'll get to hang out with me, Jedi Riven. You'll be able to get to know us, play a few games, and hang out with some of the other people. There are a couple other Twitch streamers, Jackie Wyatt 2256, as well as the Shadow Vader. If you know either of them from YouTube or Twitch, don't be afraid to come over, and you'll be able to hang out with them as well. We're all just a big group of friends. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I am the Master Control. End of line.